you can save an alpha mask of the blur pattern in your image and then use it to add other effects like noise. So just check on the Save Mask to Channels checkbox before you exit out of Blur Gallery. Hit the OK button. Okay, and we'll wait for the blur to finish processing. And once this finishes processing, we're going to go to the Channels panel, where we'll find an alpha channel of the blur pattern that we just applied to this image. Then using that pattern, we can add it as a selection and then apply a filter to the selected areas, like an add noise filter to add a noise effect. So we'll go to Channels here. We'll command click to add the alpha mask as a selection. And then if we want to add noise, we'll just do filter, noise, add noise. A little too much noise maybe. There we go. Okay, we'll hit OK. And then you can see we've added a noise effect using the same pattern as the blur that we applied. Okay, and let's step back in history here. And I just want to show that you can also enter Blur Gallery with a selection and use a special feature that's called Selection Bleed. So we'll just make a small selection here just to demonstrate how this advanced effect works. And then we'll go into Filter, Blur, and we'll do a Field Blur. Okay. Now this blur is only going to be affecting the selected area, so since this is a field blur and it's one pin, it'll just blur everything inside of the selected area. And then we'll zoom in. I just hit Command 1 to zoom in 100% to our image here. Okay, now we have the blurred area of the selection. So I'm going to go to the Selection Bleed, which you noticed was grayed out before, now it's active. And we'll adjust the slider to 100%. And you'll see that the colors from directly outside of the selection are now bleeding into the inside areas. And just to demonstrate again, 0%. And then we can see the green coming in from the forest in the background into the selected area. Okay, and just one last feature that I'm going to demonstrate here. So let's apply this blur to the selection. Okay, and we'll step back in history one step. Okay, and I just want to show that by hitting Command or Control F, Control if you're on Windows, will allow you to use Blur Gallery as the last committed filter, so that if you want to, you can hit Command F and reapply the blur that you just had. And an even more useful feature is, we'll go back one step. If you do Alt Command F or Alt Control F if you're on Windows, you can re-enter Blur Gallery with the last settings that you had applied, so long as Blur Gallery is the last filter that you had used. And this can obviously be very useful if you committed something and you made a mistake, or you wanted to change something small. You can go back with your last used settings, and this is the only way that you can get all of your settings back that you previously used inside of Blur Gallery. Because when you start a new session every time, it'll reset everything. So this is a way that you can get back to that. So this concludes the feature demo that I wanted to show you. I hope it helps you in using Blur Gallery more efficiently and comprehensively. This isn't much of a help for a workflow demo, but I hope it just shows you everything that you can do. Blur Gallery is a really powerful feature. It has a lot of different controls, and there's a lot of different creative things you can do, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Thanks a lot. Take care.